For staying tuned to independent television ITV. This is the a contribution from the Abuja broadcast station. My name is Iharo. I hope you enjoyed that when Philip discussed with Barrister Anthony Rilebo and Honorable Osaboye on the need to ensure that activities around the election petition tribunal in Edo State is very peaceful. They both spoke to it, but somehow, somewhat, everyone tends to be defending their side of the divide, be it the PDP or the APC, but the cardinal point of what Philip anchored and the need for all the parties is to ensure that those despicable, those shameful acts do not repeat itself again, and the call on the security agencies to ensure that those characters that come there to actually paint the state in bad light and paint the country in bad light are not given the access to reach that particular building, which is the sanctity of judicial purity. Okay, now we want to look at what transpired yesterday at the United States when President Donald John Trump was sworn in for a second term in office. The first term ended when he was the 45th president of the United States. He was defeated by outgoing President Joe Biden, and he came again putting forth a very strong fight against Kamala Harris. And yesterday he was inaugurated. So much transpired, so much executive orders signed after that. While the inauguration was going on, okay, that was what transpired yesterday when the big man stepped in and took his oath of office. Let's listen to him. When we come back, we'll be taking our guest for this morning.
Faithfully executed. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, thank you very, very much. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly, and other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago. Or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn. From weeks ago, without even a token of defense, they're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. And we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We're going to win like never before.
Okay, I think that was President Donald John Trump when he took his oath of office yesterday. You saw that gun salute, as well as he's saying that. But somehow his words were tough on the outgone president, who then, before his swearing in, was incumbent president, and he said America will be great again. America will be respected in the League of Nations. And there's so much they are going to reclaim most of the things that we are taking away from them. Now let's look at an X-ray Trump's return vis-a-vis the global dynamics as well as benefits for Africa, if any. Now being joined by Dr. Peter Adomi. He is a public affairs and security analyst. You're welcome to our studio, sir.
Thank you for having me once again.
President Donald John Trump is back to power, and everyone is looking at that. Yesterday, within the Nigerian context, Nigerian population on the social media, many Nigerians were so elated. Those who believe that Trump is going to change the spiritual Christian dynamics were elated. Some as well who believe that they prefer Kamala Harris felt a little bit unhappy. Some who felt Obama wife should have been there. Mitchell wasn't there. It was just a big Nigerian social media of what is happening some thousands of miles away. Now, quickly, the overall perspective of return of President Donald John Trump. We'll take it bit by bit and look at it from point by point. Now, what's your take on what happened yesterday, particularly the speech he delivered immediately after the inauguration?
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigeria. And, well, congratulations to the Americans. They have spoken, and it is their choice. We don't have any right to say it is good or it is not good or whatever, because that is the sovereignty, and it is squarely their right to do that. For me here in Nigeria, I don't really mind what is happening there for three reasons. Trump is not new to this stage. He came before, we saw his performance, and throughout his campaign, he was consistent in telling us how he's going to dismantle the establishment and rejig it. He repeated all that yesterday. So I think he was still in the campaign mode. Now that he is settling, we will be waiting to see how he will get out of that campaign mode and face actual governance. America is one unique environment where people, it's not everything you say you do that you will be able to do. Because to start with, it is an environment where the average folk, the man on the street, don't really care, don't really have anything to do with who is in the White House. Because the first thing that is of concern to the average man on the street is survival. So you don't work, you don't eat. So the economy has gotten to that level. So I see him going to do like a lion in the forest, like he's saying. He's going to tear down everything, he's going to do. He could do maybe a little bit. For one reason, the people he's talking about, I mean, America will be great again. America will be great again. Don't forget, America is not in the sky. America is part of this human environment, the global earth, which contains other 7 billion people. And I wonder how Trump, in 4 years, is going to be able to corner all these people, line them up, and teach them as the headmaster in the house. It's not going to work.
No, but if we look at the inauguration yesterday, Trump was talking more like someone campaigning, not like someone who is not presidential, according to some analysts we've seen across the world here. And saying it where Biden, where Clinton, where Obama, and others we are seated, that all what happened before, that America was actually disrespected globally, is going to change it. America is going to have its enviable place and all that. Saying it where Biden and Kamala Harris were seated. Is that not disrespectful, considering the fact that he never attended their inauguration, but they did to him?
Yeah, that's between Trump and every other president that has ruled America. Don't forget, for the first time, America elected a man like Joseph. I'm sorry, a man like Jacob in the Bible, who has always done the fraudulent things and got away with them, and still got blessed. For the first time, America elected a man who, by all standard, by all American standard, shouldn't in any way go near the White House. But they elected him for one reason. He was speaking the minds of those who control, the world in control, the capitalists, the bourgeois, the guys, or let me use the word, those who are the society's outlaws, those who manipulated every other person and every other thing. You could see the joy in Elon Musk. He spent his money, he did all what he could, he was so elated. In fact, while Trump was attending the official luncheon for him as a new president, Elon Musk was addressing another crowd elsewhere, showing his joy. Why? Who is Elon Musk? Elon Musk was one of those whites who left South Africa when Mandela became president, because they were afraid of what the blacks might do to them. They left. And to that extent, Elon Musk is one of those people who will not want to touch anything called blacks.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, go trace his history. He was he's the son of those, he was a young man when their parents left South Africa, immediately after the swearing in of Mandela.
The collapse of apartheid.
Yes. Some of the whites felt that they cannot and will never subject themselves to a black ruler. So they left. They left South Africa. So that is the mindset. That is the growth of the man.
Now, let me touch you quickly. I don't know how long we'll be taking. I know that Lagos Broadcast Center for ITV is also having some guests. The question here is, let's look at migration. That's where most Africans are very worried. The issue of the Japa syndrome, migration, and all of that now. He have talked about sending troops to the southern border, sealing up the Mexican border, changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and all of those conversations here. And there is so much growing concern, although within the South American community, but there is also another worrying concern within the African community who love the Japa syndrome here. And there's so much panic, so much worry. Do you think this is called for, or do you think Trump will relax from what he vowed to do?
Well, I want to tell you quickly that anybody in Nigeria who is worried about this Japa thing is just not reading the signs of time. If you look at the data of migration into US, Nigeria does not even come number 20. So the Nigerians that are going to the US, they are Nigerian professionals who are going to the US to add value to the economy. That is a problem to the US and the South American countries who are flowing in there in their thousands, especially these criminals that he's referring to, those who do, like in Costa Rica, prison break, the prisoners will all run away and they cross into Mexico and they are finding their way to the US. Yes, all those problems are there. Those are the people that are moving to America. And come to think of sealing the border. In his first 4 years, he said he was going to build a wall and that Mexico will pay for it. Did he succeed? The answer is no. Now, he forgot quickly that he has only 4 years, terminal 4 years. He's not going to be able to
with so much expected litigations on policy matter.
Terminal 4 years. And he has forgotten that he's a felon, a convicted felon. All these are going to play out in the American judiciary. So if he thinks he's going to have like a bull in the ring, it's not going to happen. So Trump is a gangster that Americans are going to have to, deal with for 4 years.
But still on the migration issue, the fundamental issue here, many believe that the world is a global stage where people move and interact and socialize and somewhat even grow economy and others. But within the African context now, besides migration, the mental perception that Trump is a trusted Christian. You could see many Nigerians are busy about that. 1 or 2 Nigerian prominent pastors we are invited for the pre-inauguration prayers and all of that. And the perception is that Trump is going to create more of the Christian faith. Trump is going to wipe out homosexuality. Trump is going to wipe out transgender. He said he got just male and female and the other ones. Can with all of this excitement coming from Africa, I don't wonder why.
Well, I'm not surprised at the excitement because
the African seems very elated that America is going to test morality.
Yes. No, you see, why I'm not surprised is that, you see, the average African has elated Christianity to the point of forgetting that he's an African. And so they can jump, they can dance, but the truth lies in the fact that Trump is not a Christian. Look at the swearing in yesterday. Trump is the first American president that refused to lay his hand on the Bible while taking the oath.
But there were many pastors there
they're praying,
invited to pray.
My dear brother, he sees this thing about prayer. Does prayer, I won't pray ahead now. The man you are praying for refused to lay his hand on the Bible.
Maybe he's somewhat busy.
Busy? It's not busy, it's a protocol. It's a swearing-in protocol that has happened throughout almost 300 years of America.
But it's not
even George Washington, that was a cultist, lay his hand on the Bible.
But it's not legal. It's not a must. You must put it.
But that shows his level of Christianity.
But the African, what you're saying here, most of the guys on the street around Nigeria, around African continent, most of the clerics believe that this is the man. You've seen those posts, the man that God said. No, one they want to kill, that God delivered him
for
the assassin.
Forget all that. People know. See, the way I see Trump in relation to Christianity is the way I see Jethro in the Bible. Now, he may not be a Christian. He may not be, in fact, he may be a devil, disciple. But, God in his own wisdom knows how to use the wrong things to do some right. Yes, all of us have been worried about this strong push about all these gender thing and all these LGBT and, poking it in our noses and making us look like as if we are stupid. But be that as it is, if Trump is able to, kind of slow it down, I use the word slow it down because in the next 4 years, Trump will leave that place. Somebody else will come with his own executive orders. And you never can be too sure that he will not bring it back. So, if Trump will give us that break, and then we are able to preach well and say, really, do we really need this? And then when somebody else brings it back next time, we'll be a bit maybe modified. So, for Africans who are jumping up, Christianity that is jumping up, who America that we are copying, did Christianity help them? Are they waiting for Christianity? If we know this, if we read the history, those of us who are contemporary history students, if I tell you the history of the development of America, you know that they are the most devilish set of human beings in the world. Stealing from everybody and dealing with everybody.
Now let's quickly look at what transpired just a few minutes before the inauguration and 1 or 2 hours after when Trump signed those executive orders. Now the fundamental fact was that the outgone president, the immediately outgone president, Joe Biden, signed some preemptive executive order pardoning family members and friends. When Trump came in, he signed his own executive order pardoning the quote now the anti-democratic elements that invaded the Capitol here. Now, with all of this happening in America, the question is, should this had happened in Africa, these would have been the first people to condemn it. Or in Russia, they would have been the first to condemn it in Russia, condemn it in China, but they appear to be the first people, the very ones pardoning anybody they suspected the ones convicted, the ones that would likely be convicted, everyone will. Should this be America? Is this the America that we heard of when it comes to the issue of the human rights enforcement, the police of the world, the world judicial enforcer?
That is where I pity my fellow Nigerians. For the first time, what is behind the curtain in America, what America has been, do you know one of the reasons why Trump is popular? Trump is the first person that is actually saying in the public what white Americans are saying in the secret. Trump is bold to say what the criminals are saying and say it publicly and damn it. So he's popular among the supremacists, he's popular among the criminals, he's popular among the capitalists, the shrewd capitalists, the religionists, the religionists who hide under religion to do some devilish things. He's saying it. So they are happy with him that he is able to push it out there and damn it. So for the first time, they have a man who does not care about his reputation. So for us in Africa, for me, we shouldn't be too much concerned about what is happening in America, because America is coming to the open. They are dancing naked in the public because everybody is beginning to see how demoralized they are, how immoral they are. Everybody is beginning to see that thing they call religion, that thing they call Christianity, to the extent that they say we are a nation under God, is just a facade.
In God we trust.
In God we trust. It's just a facade to deceive me and you. The real thing they trust, they are here to tell us. If only we know how far and how and where. The real thing America trusts, we don't know yet. That is why most of the cultist group, most of the secret cults, the global cultist group in the world, they have their headquarters in America. And that's what they believe in.
Now let's look at the other one, which is the talk about annexation of taking over the Panama Canal. Analysts have talked about that. Donald Trump had said it before, that it was foolishly handed over to Panama, that Americans will take it over, and it never ruled out the use of force. And many are asking fundamental question. If Donald Trump takes over Panama Canal from Panama, the question will be, what about the criticism of Putin taking over part of Ukraine? What about China taking over Hong Kong and some part of the South China Sea? How will the Americans now stand and look China in the eye and look Russia in the eye when they want to take over the Panama Canal?
I want you to know that this G7 are doing they are all one pack. They do exactly the same thing.
But they disagree publicly and they appear not to.
That is the law of the witches. During the day, the witches they are enemies, but when they get to their meeting in the night, they are husband and wife. So forget, they are the G7. All of them are doing the same thing. They do the same. They follow the same script. So if you see America criticizing China, they are doing that to give me and you the impression that they are something else. Whereas when it comes to trade, when it comes to finance, they know where they meet. There is no company in China that developed without the input of America. There is no company in Malaysia, Indonesia that developed without the input of America. So they know where they meet. Let that not deceive us. As to taking over Panama Canal, sorry. I don't even have any quarrel about that. They have even taken over Panama. Maybe it's interesting. September last year, I wanted to go for a meeting in Panama, and I was told that unless I have an American visa, I cannot go. And I said, bullshit, take it. The truth is that Panama Canal was built by America. They spent their money. They used their labor. They used all their resources, built it, running it for some years, and handing it over to Panama as a country, not to China. And it is true that China has taken over that facility, and it's now to the benefit of China. So if Trump is going to take it over, let that be, but let it be diplomatically done. Otherwise, it means, and if he's talking about using force, he's already using force there already. A country that is sovereign, that cannot issue its own visa, is that a sovereign country. So as far as I'm concerned, it's really not an issue. He can jolly well take over anywhere he wants to take over. Like I said, and I want to repeat, Trump has only 4 years. And 4 years is like a flash in the pan. Before you know it, he is gone. Somebody else is coming to come and undo what.
Okay, one concern for watchers from the Middle East is the fact that yesterday, part of the executive order, Trump pardoned some Israeli settlers that we are seeing to have attacked Palestinians, and somewhat some deaths were recorded, some were injured, some had their properties destroyed, and some felt, okay, if we are to build a strong Middle East where everyone will be like a brother, the Israel, the Abraham Accord, those guys who actually committed crimes against the Palestinians should not be pardoned.
Yes. Trump is doing exactly what the Jewish community in America wants him to do. The Jewish community in America do not believe in the two-state solution, and they don't even believe that Palestinians have a space in Israel. To that extent, anything and everything that should be done by America to make sure that Israel is protected, Israel is given an upper hand, is what they will do. And so I'm not surprised, and I will not even be surprised that the war, the ceasefire, is going to last too long, because Trump will want to take a few steps to convince those Jewish community that he has their back. So don't be surprised that they are pardoning everybody, and those pardons are just something to let us know that he's going to do bigger things. Don't forget, in the first in his first tenure, he was the first to
move the capital to Jerusalem. To move the capital from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Yes, moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, and that was encouraging Israel to now declare Jerusalem as its capital. So those are the dynamics. As far as the Middle East is concerned, the war has not ended. It's only a pause. That is my own reading of the situation.
Okay, quickly, as our time flies now, the Russian-Ukraine crisis. What's your expectation? He said before, on the first day we end the war. We're already in the first day. I don't think he will end the war today.
No, yesterday he says a few weeks.
I know. He said before on the first day. Yesterday it says a few weeks. The issue of few weeks, we don't know how relative the few weeks would be here. Do you see him calling Putin and saying, "Hey, guy, you need to stop throwing bombs in Ukraine and pull out the troops"? Or he will tell Ukraine, "Give up some portion and let Putin and yourself be cool guys"?
He has already said that, and I know, I want to believe strongly that's exactly what he's going to do. He has already, he's a new Secretary of State. He's saying there should be concession on both sides. What is the concession going to look like? The territories that Russia had already taken, Ukraine should sum up courage to let it go. And then, to that extent, let Russia end the war.
Will Zelensky and the guys around Ukraine take that?
Well, they have no choice in this matter. They have no choice in the sense that he has already said he's going to stop American funding. And when he stops American funding, no more weapon coming from the U.S. Putin will have an upper hand there. So it is just simple that Zelensky, if he wants to do something that will help him.
Okay, very quickly now, we know we had the Lagos studio standing by. Very, very quickly, just in 1 minute, what are we going to be seeing between the U.S. and China under a Donald Trump administration? Because Trump is saying China is cheating in trade and that he will be correcting all of those.
It's going to be tit for tat. What I mean by tit for tat, you tariff me, I tariff you. It happened before. When in his first tenure, he put tariff on China. China knew where it hurts America. They put tariff on American agricultural.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Peter Andomi, Public Affairs and Security Analyst. We thank you for coming. Let's hope that we'll get the best for our continent and believe we can the African continent and change the perception that someone is going to come and develop our country. Thank you for being with us here and sharing your thoughts on this morning on ITV. Okay, thanks for staying with us. The program is still on. We'll now take you to our Lagos studio where our colleagues are already standing by for more on topical issues.